Hello everyone, my name is Imanju Tawar, and this is the first episode of
It Came From Japan.
This is a show in which I tell you a little bit about Japanese games that came west, but were quickly pushed aside by mainstream media. Were they good? Were they bad? Should you try to give them a shot? Let's get right into it. Today we're going to be talking about Onigiri. No, not rice balls, but rather the action MMORPG that came to the West in October of 2015. When you think console MMO, your mind probably goes to Elder Scrolls Online or Final Fantasy XIV, but Onigiri is there too, and unlike the last two, it's actually free to play. The game takes place in a world reminiscent of ancient Japan where both Oni and yokai exist. While that isn't exactly revolutionary, you'll notice that a lot of the things in Onigiri aren't exactly either. As you can see in the gameplay clips, the graphics aren't exactly cutting edge, but the game is charming in its own right and does allow for all of the customizability that you would expect from an MMO. It's developed and published by Cyberstep, who is an unsurprisingly unrecognizable studio out here in the West, with games like C21 Steel Battle Chronicles, Get Amped, and Cosmic Break under their belt. Games that you've probably never heard of and don't really need to. The mechanics are fairly simple in Onigiri. You can equip a bevy of weapons, and those weapons each allow a set number of skills, which results in a fairly complex combat system. But it isn't necessarily anything different from what we've seen before in action MMORPGs from Japan. You can block, roll, and pretty much anything you would expect from an action MMORPG, allowing for a little bit more of a faster paced action combat system that rewards skill over just mashing buttons. Unfortunately, however, when Onigiri launched in October, the game suffered from network connectivity issues. People would get booted off the server, the game would constantly crash, and the frame rate wasn't great when the game actually decided to run. It pretty much proved that Cyberstep wasn't able to handle the massive amount of players that were pinging their servers, after which most people just deleted the game off their PS4's hard drive and never came back, leaving Onigiri battered and bruised and pretty much heartbroken. So you might be asking now, Himanshu, the game doesn't run well, the game doesn't look well, and it doesn't really do anything different, so why are you telling me about this game? Well, there are two reasons for that. Primarily, the game isn't actually that bad. If you take away the fact that it doesn't actually run well, the game's core is actually kind of fun. By no means is the game great, but again, it kills time, and that's all that we're looking for. If you're into traditional Japanese MMORPGs and are looking for something to play that doesn't cost anything and just want to kill some time, I would suggest trying out Onigiri. You might not like it, but aside from bandwidth usage, you really don't have anything to lose. And secondly, Onigiri's rapid failure on the PlayStation Network allows for developers to learn a little bit something about what they should know when they're launching their games. And that problem is first impressions. When Onigiri launched, it wasn't playable, and so everyone who played it, or tried to at least, was immediately turned off. If Cyberstep had taken those precautions beforehand instead of trying to implement them later, they would have probably looked a lot different now. So that's Onigiri. Let me know what you guys think of the game in the comments below, and let us know what PlayStation enthusiasts should cover in terms of Japanese games for this new series,
It Came From Japan.
You can follow me on Twitter at SenorBrownCat, that's SenorBrownCat, and you can find all of your gaming news over at PlayStationEnthusiast.com, or even check out our new site, Enthusiast.gg. Thanks for watching, subscribe, comment, like, do whatever you need to do, and I'll see you next time.